Okay, in this next section, we are going to show you how to actually use the alarm in a patient setting. Now, as I told you before, to turn it on, you flip this on-off switch. Now, I want the number one take-home message for you to be, once you initiate this alarm and turn it on, never, ever, ever turn it off again until you discharge the patient or the patient is no longer on false precautions. The reason being is that someone is going to turn that off and another nurse is not going to realize that it had been turned off. So when you're using it on a patient, the only button you need is this one right on top. It's a one-touch system. So let's talk about how do you get the patient out of bed. So the patient is in bed, as I'm demonstrating by holding the sensor. I've got it. When you want to get the patient out of bed, you literally hit it once. The light is going to go flashing red, as you can see there on the left-hand side over here. Once you hit that button, you can get the patient out of bed. When the patient is off the sensor, this sensor is inactive for a full 30 seconds. Now you're thinking 30 seconds is not very long, but this sensor is never going to alarm again until you put pressure back on that sensor after the 30-second window. Now, the 30 seconds is really important for the resetting of the alarm. So when you get a patient up and they're gone, they can be gone for long periods of time. This alarm is not going to alarm, as I said, until you put a patient back on. Once you put the patient back on, you're going to hear a beep, and this is going to turn green, and then it's going to automatically reset. So you don't have to ever worry about turning this on when they've been gone for a prolonged period of time. I will demonstrate. So I put that on red. I took my patient. Now I'm bringing the patient back, and we're going to put him back in bed. You're going to hear a beep, and this is going to turn green. Okay, so that automatically reset, and you know that it's set because the light is green. Okay, now another scenario is if I'm going to get the patient up, I hit it. Now I'm only going to have them up for a very short period of time, maybe to change their pants or something, and I'm going to put them back to bed. Okay, we put them back to bed and it did not beep or turn green. That is because we're still within that 30-second window. So what do? So you have two options. You can either continue to work with your patient for the remainder of that 30-second window, at which point the alarm is going to beep and turn green. If you don't have time to wait, it beeped and turned green. So now we're activated again. Now say we get them up, you hit the button, we get them up, you put the patient back to bed, but this time you don't have time to wait that 30 seconds. All you have to do is hit the button, it will turn green, and you're good to go. Okay, so my second message, the first one was never ever turn it off. My second message that I want you to always remember is never ever ever leave your patient when the light is red, like that. That means that the patient is not being monitored. Okay, so granted, so I put the patient in bed, the light is still red, I leave the room. Granted, in 30 seconds, this will beep and turn green, but that 30 seconds is a long time. If you leave that room and the patient is confused and gets up to try and follow you and falls, that's because you left the room with a red light going. So never, ever, ever leave the patient room when a red light's blinking. Once again, you can either wait the 30 seconds or simply hit the button and turn it green. Okay, any questions?